right. Look at your posh background. That is well nice.
That's what we renovated all of last year. Basically, it
Oh
took
my
a whole year to
God.
put this class in. It's ridiculous.
It looks nice though.
Thank
The
you.
finished the finished product is good. I've been
Thank
busy
you.
today.
A little bit, yeah. So I got my first listing for a home, so I'm super excited.
Okay.
So, but we do like full service, so I stage the whole thing. So it's like buying all the furniture and ensuring like everything goes well together. So,
Would you rather it that way though as well? Because you've
hmm yeah,
yeah, right. Because
yeah,
you can't
totally.
have it. No, you can't get a place and get someone putting moody furniture in there.
No, 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 absolutely not. I'm
That is
having
fun.
wine, by the way, because I'm like so anxious about
Really?
this.
I can't. I've got to go to class after this.
So,
I'm like, I can't have anything. Yeah, go for it.
we were in Morristown forever, but I think Morristown got way too crowded for us.
Mm.
And then comparing it to here, we were just like, no, let's just move upstate. We don't need to stick around here anymore. Let's just do it.
I think I've got a couple more years, but I think I'm teetering like if I can find something else that I can actually do where maybe I don't have to be as in person, I
Yeah.
think I'd like to do something like that. Get a couple of dogs. I mean, we've
Yeah.
got one now that we've had for a long time,
I
but
know. Be
I know
careful what you wish for, though. Two is a lot.
I know. Well, the Newark Animal Shelter the other day were advertising. They were asking for people to volunteer to take some dogs because they're renovating it. 'Cause,
Hmm.
and Kelly keeps saying she wants to go down there and volunteer in there and everything. And last year there was the building next door collapsed, so the roof collapsed and loads of dogs got sort of not they got relocated because
Hmm.
of it. So they just got too many. The
Oh my
problem
God.
is, like you said, you get two, it's a problem. We have
Yeah.
every now and again we have two, but not full time anyway.
Yeah. We have
It's
one
not.
that's a combination of like a grumpy teenager and a baby. He's just a terror and he's 90 pounds. So he's like,
I have a feeling that ours is. I see ours like a sort of sophisticated old city girl that just when we're not in the house, she's sat on the couch with like a glass of scotch and a cig, and that's and then when she comes home, she like brushes it under the carpet and then just acts all homeless and helpless. Welcome to the Crossing the Pond podcast, hosted by me, Gary Adair, where we talk to people from all walks of life, artists, educators, entrepreneurs, and adventurers, to explore the stories and lessons that can help you understand yourself, others, and create meaningful change in your own life. Today on Crossing the Pond, I'm joined by Macarena Tracey, who left Chile as a young girl after her father pioneered a life in the US for his family. Maca spent over 20 years in the fashion industry until recently, when she made a choice to step back from the spotlight and start a quieter chapter in upstate New York. We talk about all the facets of the fashion world, the journey her family took to get them settled in New Jersey, finding community as a Chelsea fan, and what life looks like now on her own terms. So, you moved from Chile when you were 8?
yes. So my dad actually moved when I was 6 and he was here for a couple years, saving up money, ensuring that, we had a place to live and everything. And
Mm.
we moved here when I was 8 years old.
Is that a common thing? I see, because you see that, don't you? Like, even in taxis when you're getting in the city and that lads who leave all the family, come over here, try and settle things, and then everybody else moves over. Was that tough for you for 2 years?
It wasn't tough. I mean, I think it is a common thing that a lot of families have to do that just because, finding work and so on. And it's easier to have to worry about one person than, four other people,
Mm.
especially when you have little kids. My brother, I mean, was in 86, he was 2. So that's why they made that decision. But for me, it wasn't hard. Like my dad worked a lot and he was away a lot, but I never felt like he wasn't around.
Yeah, and was it communicated? I mean, I know you're only young, aren't you, at that point? Like, but was it communicated to you at all by like your mum? This is the plan, or this is what we're going to do, or is it just like Dad's gone away
Yeah.
for a bit?
Yeah. So it was always like, this excitement about one day moving to the US and this exciting thing in the pipeline. And, this was the 80s. So we also used to like make not video, cassette tapes for him on a
Yeah.
recorder. And like we would talk to him and he would send us some back. So it was quite cute.
That is nice. I did.
Yeah.
I forget about recording on a tape.
I know.
So, where did you move to in Jersey?
So first, we actually moved to Miami for 3 months. We
Oh wow.
lived with some relatives, yeah, and then we ended up moving to Roselle Park, New Jersey, which is, I don't know if you know it, tiny
Yeah,
town,
I know.
Union County. Yeah,
Uh huh.
so
Near Kenilworth, right?
yeah, right next
Yeah.
door.
You know, sometimes, like for example, like I used to work in Madison years ago, and there was a strong Colombian connection in Madison, like, and people would come over and families would follow each other from Colombia. Was it like that with Chileans in Roselle Park,
Not
or
at
were you on
all.
your own?
Not at all. It took like years before we found other Chileans. Actually, I think we had like one of my dad's really good friends that, he's one of those uncles that you have growing up, but not
Yeah,
blood
he's not
related.
really your uncle, friend of the
No,
family.
no, he was the only other Chilean we knew. And I think when we were looking for like empanadas and ended up in North Bergen, we discovered, oh, there's some more Chileans here. But it wasn't at the time the same size community that I feel like it is now. I feel like now you run into Chileans more and more.
What was the school? What was going to school like? Was there
So
many South Americans or Hispanics? At least
yeah,
Hispanic.
there definitely was. But I think, it was a predominantly like white neighborhood. It's like, blue collar, a lot of working families, but it wasn't that many. And I think at that, when you're that age also, you're trying to fit in. So it wasn't like you had other kids to speak Spanish to, really. And the accents were so weird, and our accent was so weird. Like, I don't know if you know, Chileans have a really kind of distinct accent and speak really fast. So it's not like you always understand each other even. I mean, now as an adult, I can make sense of what people are saying, but slang is very different.
Yeah, that's ironic now because you're married to John,
Oh my God.
who's got crazy that accent. His family must be crazy. Well, maybe you get it because they speak so fast. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, and my years of exposure to
Mm.
Scottish, UK, but his is pretty calm. I think when we had the wedding in Scotland and exposed to all the other Scottish, then I was like, excuse me, what?
So when you get here, you're in Roselle Park, and as you're moving through school, how do you maintain connections with back home? Are you able to go back? Do you just is it that sort of in the rear view for the time being?
So it was
Family.
definitely in the rear view. So it was more of a family coming here. We were really close, really with my mom's side of the family. Like my aunt is almost like they both kind of raised me, my mom's two sisters. So they were always coming here, and my grandparents as well. And then we had, like I said, some relatives in Florida. So that's how we maintain the connection mostly. And
Mm.
again, cassette tapes. We loved cassette tapes back then.
It's such a mad
I
idea that I
know.
never even thought. I mean, it is true, isn't it? I remember like even as a kid doing stupid stuff like recording radio shows and that as a kid,
Oh
but
my
I didn't
god,
even
I
think
know.
about it as passing it on as a way of communicating, early voicemails and whatnot. So you go through high school, you get into college, you go Seton Hall, so you stay in Jersey, and you did business management. Was
I
that?
did I did
Yeah.
economics and with a minor
Okay.
in business management. So for some reason, I don't know what was in my head, but I was like, what is the hardest thing I could think of doing? And, if I can do this, I can do anything. And at that time, it was economics. So I was like, if I can get economics, I can do anything, that any challenge that gets put in front of me. That was
Were
my
you any
way of
good at it?
thinking. No, and if you ask me economics questions now, I wouldn't even know how to answer it. Like, once I passed my exams and got that degree, out the door,
Gone.
bye.
That's funny, which is mental because I mean the business side of it I can kind of see,
Mhm.
but you go from that into fashion. Did you even get a job in economics, or did you go into fashion
Never.
straight from
I've
that?
been in fashion. I was in fashion from the beginning. So, when you tell your, immigrant parents, I want to go to fashion school, they're like, no, you're going to do something that's going to earn you a living. Like, we're not paying for fashion school. So it was very much and I was the oldest too. So it was very much, you have to study something that is gonna, you're gonna have to like that can make you a good living. So it was either always like business or law. I mean, I was not good at science, so we knew I wasn't going to be a doctor. But so once I studied business, I was like, okay, I want to prove that I can do fashion, but I can also do business. So I was really, really kind of like a go-getter. And I was like, I'm going to get an internship in fashion. And that's what I did. And while I was at Seton Hall, I was applying to, every fashion company I could. And I was so lucky that my first internship was with Betsy Johnson, who, for those of you that know fashion, I mean, she was amazing. It was, she was known for doing cartwheels down the runway, and it was everything like you could imagine. It was like, people doing samples in the bag and model fittings and, PR and events and sample sales. And it was just the coolest experience.
Did you feel pressure to make that work?
Oh, yeah.
Because arguably the first person in the family to go to a US, I'm presuming the first person in the family to go to university in the US at least.
Actually,
Like,
no,
did
it's
you
my
feel?
dad. My dad
Oh,
went back to
really?
school. Yeah, my dad went back to school,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
yeah, he was the first one to get his degree. I feel pressure for that because I'm like, if he can, finish with like a 3.4 GPA, then I could. I didn't finish with a 3.4. Mine was slightly lower.
That's all right, but you went into the fashion. You went into fashion as well. Was it easy to do that? Was it a fluke getting this Betsy Johnson gig? Just because, I mean, I'm not being funny, but you're applying for fashion school with economics background. Like, what made you different on those applications that actually you feel like got you over the line?
I don't know. I mean, I think honestly now it's more common. Like I think it's more people hire people like like with English degrees or art degrees or more degrees. And with everything going on over the last few years with technology, a lot of tech degrees. But I think back then, you have FIT, you have all these fashion schools, and I feel like sometimes the fashion school kids are wanting to pursue the more creative lines of work within the industry. And I knew like, I'm not going to be a pattern maker or a designer. Like I knew I wanted to kind of do a little bit of both, be on, the I wouldn't want to say creative, but the more merchandising side, which is you're dealing with actual product, which is why I love fashion to begin with, and the business side. Okay, like how does fashion make money? How do companies grow? How do they get into, the department stores? So early on, I knew that that's what I wanted to pursue. So I think that's what sort of set me apart when I was interviewing.
Was that always a thing then when you were a kid? Would you be like shuffling around in your mum's high heels and stuff like that? Like, were you into fashionable stuff? Was that your thing? But then you thought, it's going to be really hard. I'm going to go into economics, or was
No,
fashion that something just grew on you?
I always knew I wanted to work. If I think back, I
Okay.
always wanted to be like, I loved fashion. I mean, I will never forget this. The best, like the first great present I got was in 5th grade, and it was the coolest leather jacket ever. And that's all I wanted. And like, I was always just drawn to clothes and outfits and, putting things together and, even taking risks, which weren't really taking risks. It's just my friends would make fun of me, like, why are you wearing a beret? Like, that's weird.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
Exactly. So that first internship, was it everything you thought it would be, or was it a little? Because all I can think of when I think of internships in fashion is Devil Wears Prada, and you just
I
get.
mean, everyone was so nice. It was hard work. And like, I mean, carrying like 50 pounds of garment bags on the subway or through the garment industry district, sorry.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, it was hard. And like you have your bags in one hand and trying to scan your subway card and get through the turnstile with these bags and you're sweating. You were trying to like dress cute for your internship, but you're just a mess. And yeah,
And no offense,
that
Macca,
aside,
no offense, you're only tiny.
I
So
am
like you
only
must have
tiny.
just been under all these bags.
It was really funny. But yeah, I mean, it definitely was eye opening. And I was one of the coolest things at the time. Who knew I was going to be doing this for then 20 years of my life? There's like trade shows where people, where brands sell to stores. And I
Mm.
got to be part of that even as an intern because they were so busy taking orders. So I saw how, how important that side of the industry was. And it just made me want to, really pursue it.
Yeah. And you said then that you've been in for 20 years. Like, what was it that kept you in for 20 years in fashion? Is it just the constant changes and the constant trends and things that come?
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, I really did love it. And I got to travel the world because of this industry. I got to go to places I never thought I would get to go to. I got to see stores that, I didn't even know existed. And also the people. I've made some great friendships in this industry over the years. And like I said, loved it. But I think that after a while, it is a lot of work and it becomes a bit too cyclical, like, especially when you're doing, when you're sort of on the sales, marketing, retail side, you're like, okay, it's almost a very similar thing in no matter what the company, no matter what size. So
Mm.
I think for me, that's where I became like, okay, like I've done this for a while now, who knows how long we're on this planet for. Is this what I want to do forever? No.
No. What is it something about the fashion industry that would seem glamorous to somebody like me, for example, that real in the reality
Fashion
isn't?
shows.
Oh yeah?
Oh my God. There's so much work and so much preparation for, 14 minutes. And they're so expensive. And it's just like, and yeah, it's so much work that goes into them.
And what are
And,
you doing in a fashion show at that point? Like you personally?
so it depends, like when I was an intern to when I was like more, established in a role, like you help dress people, you help, set up floral arrangements, you help coordinate access, you help, with the backstage shoots. Cause at the same time, as people are coming off the runway, you got to set them up to get photograph because that's what then you use for like lookbooks and to sell your collection. So it depends. But I remember one of my first experiences in a fashion show, I had to help dress the models, but you know how short I am. So like I literally had to like jump up to get things over like models' heads. I was like, this doesn't seem like the best use of my skills right now.
Yeah. Was it right? Be honest here. Is there ever times where it's just like safety pin and a dream? Like things don't quite fit last minute, or is it fitted pretty? Is it pretty well put together?
I would
I'm thinking
say
about
it's
Project Runway here.
it's pretty well put together. I
Okay,
mean,
fair enough.
I think Project Runway also, like, it's like every reality show. It's like
Oh, do you hate
the
Project
worst.
Runway? Is that what you're going to tell me?
No, no. I like Project Runway, but it's always like the worst version of that industry, I feel like, in a
Fair,
way.
fair
You
point.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's
yes,
fair.
there are times when you have to put like a sample together in 24 hours, but that's like very rare.
That's true. Was there a moment then after the internship where you felt like you'd finally made it in the industry? Because I mean, 20 years is a long time in one place or in one industry at least.
You know what? It ended up being 23. So, yeah, 23 years I did this for. I think no. And I think that's what was part of also like hard when I decided to transition to something else and leave the industry because I don't know, like I thought I would always maybe one day be president of a company. And as I got closer and closer to that, the more I'm like, I don't think this is what I want to do. And then I had to like really think about, am I giving up? Am I quitting? Haven't I, is what I achieved enough? I never did this, do I still have something to prove? And it took a minute to really, come to terms with like, I actually don't have anything to prove. I enjoyed it. I did what I did, but now it's like time for a different story.
Yeah, no, that's cool as well. Was there a role or a company that taught you the most about yourself? Like when you talk about then, like
Yeah.
you get to that point where you're like, I don't need to prove anything to anybody. Like, was there a certain moment within those 23 years where you come to that, or did it
I
build
don't
up?
know. No, I think it took like a moment where, last year when I decided to do all this, it was like kind of everything fell into place. So I was working at a company where they, were restructuring. So basically me and my team were like, okay, this is when you guys are going to end here. And at the same time, I was getting married. We were selling our house. So everything just sort of came together like in this moment where I was like, oh, you know what? Like this was the 2-year plan where it was eventually going to transition into something else, but it happened in like 2 months. And for me, that was like, I welcome that. I was like, okay, so everything sort of happens for a reason. John hates when I say that, but it's true. I
It
do
took it out
believe
of your hands, though, didn't it? It took the decision out of your hands, really.
exactly, because it was just like more like, let's do it now. Like, let's take the jump now. Because it is. It's like it's a jump, like where I'm like, you have to have that conversation. It's like, I'm gonna start a new career. I'm not gonna, be bring in the same income I was. I'm not going to be, going into the office 3 days a week. He sees me a lot more than he used to. So there's all these conversations that you need to have and planning that needs to happen. And that's why it was always going to be like a 2-year project. But then it's like, oh no, let's just.
Enough. What part of the fashion job were you most proud of? Like, was there an accomplishment that you did that that you feel most strongly about?
I think for me, honestly, I'd say probably my time at Mara. I think once we started opening up more stores and growing our website, I also think how I changed as a person over the last probably 10 years more than anything as I started, overseeing like teams and have people reporting to me and understanding like what my shortcomings were as well as like how to grow and be like a better leader. So I think just in general, I think the best accomplishment is just growth and,
Mm.
how I've evolved as a person. I'm definitely not, perfect, but I try every day to improve or learn something new.
That's a good answer, Maka. That's not that bad. I have got a nosy question for you though.
Yeah,
Like,
bring it on.
what's the city? What's the? Oh, actually, you know what? No, who's? Can you tell me who the meanest model is who you've ever? Is there anyone famous that was just horrible? Are
There
you allowed
was
to?
someone famous who was horrible, but I'm not gonna say who.
God damn it! I tried. All
It
right.
was a
What about?
band who had a one-hit wonder, that's all I'll say.
Oh my God! You're gonna have to text me this after. This is gonna
I
be a
will.
nightmare. It'll make me think about it. Give me a clue. Is it 90s, 2000s?
2000s.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fair enough. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you. Was there anyone who was nice to you? Was there anyone who sort of, you know, was there anyone who you met who was quite well known or renowned that gave you a little bit of advice, or was it just people that you were working with in your company?
I think it was mostly the best advice came from people, like, within the industry that I looked up to. I think it's it's one of those industries where there is a lot of female leaders too, which is nice,
Mm.
where you don't well, especially, I don't know, in my generation where you didn't see that much in like banking or those sort of industries, but in fashion, you definitely it opened up your eyes to a lot of like women in charge, which was something that I really like looked up to and valued.
Now, when you go back to your family as well, like you talk about your mum and your aunt, and they raised you. Did you see that in the women that you were working with as well in the business? Was that like
Totally.
were they like leaders as well in sort of within the family? Obviously now you're seeing them in the workplace.
Not always. I think, it depends. It depends like what their background was, like also like I think what I really took away from them is that it's always like a balance and it's not always like something's kind of got to give a little bit. There's going to be times where you have to focus more on your job. There's days where it's just like you're focused on what you have to do, and other days where like your family is the focus. Like everything is a balance. It's not always every.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And your mum was a bit like that. But did you look up to your mum like that when you were a kid?
Yeah, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, but she was like the boss of the house. And so I always had this like sort of strong female person in my life. I mean, she was amazing in terms of like, she was the best stay at home mom. We had the homemade Halloween costumes. We had the best, projects in school. She made sure that we were always, I mean, she probably like helped us cheat a little bit. She did some of it herself, but She always made sure that, we strived for like the best and excellence.
Did she have the sandal as well? The chancla? Or is that
Yeah.
somewhere else? Because every
Yeah. But
South
you know
American
what?
I speak to fears it.
You know what? But I was an angel. I
Oh,
was
of
the
course,
best.
yeah. So you never got it. Your poor brother got absolutely walloped with it.
No, it was my sister, the Liverpool fan.
Jesus, real with that one. Iron slippers.
She was the troublemaker.
That's quality. Was there a city that you traveled? Because you did do a lot of traveling, didn't you? Was
Yeah.
there a city that you went to that you instantly felt like, I love this place. I could live here.
Madrid. I love Madrid.
Oh, I've
But
never been.
I love Madrid. But I would say the city that probably has had the most impact on me is Paris. Although it took me like 5 trips to really like it.
Oh, it took me like 5 trips.
Oh yeah, I've been to Paris like 50 times maybe.
That's sickening. I love
I
Paris. It's
mean,
one of my favorite places.
think about it, 3 to 4 times a year over like
True.
yeah, how many years? So but it took me a while to figure out like where to go, where to go to shop, to eat, what neighborhoods I liked. Because the French are not easy when it
No.
comes to tourists. So it took a little bit of getting used to.
You must have got away with it a little bit though, because you're not fully English, or you're not English and you're not fully American. So
No, but I was always like with Americans. So
you get tired with the
by
brush.
default, I got yeah.
See, when you travel around a lot, do you notice like things from your roots, like your Chilean roots that pop up when you're traveling, that maybe you're more aware of one thing, or you act a certain way because of the way that you were brought up? Like, does it carry over into all your movements?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say I'm a very sort of aware traveler. And I think growing up in, Santiago and with Chileans, like you don't trust anyone. You're always looking over your shoulder. And that sort of, I take that everywhere. I mean, I'm always try to be careful, even though I was traveling alone and a lot of times in strange cities and, you know, just that whole like not trusting and making sure you're aware.
What's the difference between this is going to be? I can't wait for this answer. What's the difference between Americans and Europeans when it comes to fashion and just lifestyle in general, without getting
Oof.
yourself in too much trouble?
I feel like Europeans tend to be a little bit more, I would say, classic in terms of like their uniformity. Like they find what they like and they kind of stick to that formula. Where I feel like Americans are a little bit more trend driven.
Interesting. That's funny. That I mean, I don't know if John's the same as me. I say this all the time. Like I wear, well, all that, like a lot of us anyway. But we all tend to wear the same stuff,
Oh no,
just in different colors and different ways.
John is definitely his closet, like his wardrobe is bigger than mine. He's a fashion guy.
Is he
And
really?
it's not
What's
my
his
fault.
go-to? I don't know. I've seen John with a couple of. Last time I saw John, he had a really trendy pair of sunglasses on, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, he's obsessed with sunglasses and
"Is it
glasses.
sunglasses? See, mine are jackets and trainers."
Yeah, he
I'm like,
went through a trainer phase, but now he's like mostly glasses is his thing. I don't know. He wears a lot of different brands, but he's a shopper. He's a
seriously,
big time shopper.
Someone put me onto this brand the other day. Oh, I can't find it. It's gonna kill me. Hang on a minute. He put me onto this brand because he had a nice pair on, and I was like, they look really cool. Hang on a minute. Caddis.
I
He
don't know
said
if I
there's
know
this
it.
brand. It's a brand called Caddis. Caddis.
I don't know if I
Um,
know it.
yeah, he said they're not very expensive either, so I might have to have a look because I'm due a new pair as well. So we'll see what goes. Don't get me
Oh
started on that.
yes, of glasses. Yes, those are nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
like
Those are really nice.
thicker
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Okay, good. See, now I can buy them now. I know you two, like, you can approve on it as well. That's quality. What's the least glamorous thing you've had to do in the name of fashion?
Oh my God, so much. I've had to ensure like a bathroom is clean before,
Oh,
buyers come to a showroom, or I've had to, in Paris also, just so like when you are showing collections, you're usually renting galleries and you bring on all your clothing racks, you set up like it's like a temporary showroom.
hmm.
But what people don't understand is that a lot of these galleries are so old and they don't even have bathrooms inside. You have to go outside to like maybe like porta potty or something. Not porta potty. It's more of like a outhouse.
Yeah.
And or there's no air conditioning, and you have like these buyers from, luxury stores coming in and viewing the collection, and you're just praying they don't ask to use the bathroom because you're like, I cannot take, this buyer from Selfridges to, this outhouse in the back.
Oh my
But
God.
again, making sure the outhouse is as looking as nice as possible.
Is there any other stories you've got from those fashion weeks where at the time, like now you look back and they're funny, but at the time it's just like, oh my, it was not funny at the time.
Oh, I had an incident. I can't give details though.
Oh,
I had an incident where a heel broke. I like fell down the stairs and this famous person, like I was here at the bottom of the stairs and this person walked over me like roadkill, like not asking if I was okay, literally stepped over me and kept going as I was sitting there with like have bounced off the steps.
that is brutal. All right. This is the question that I'm going to ask you, and I know a lot of people are going to listen to. How did a Chilean American fashion executive become such a passionate Chelsea fan?
Okay. So my dad's huge, huge football fan, but when we were growing up, you were limited to what you could watch, right? So I don't know if you remember in the 80s, like Chile was out of the World Cup for a few years due to
Mm,
some controversy and so on. So then we would watch different teams, and my sister and I, for some reason, really started following the English team. And at the time, it was like one of the few games like they would broadcast here as well. Like it's not like now where you can watch any country play
yeah.
anybody. So we were, limited. It was like US, England, Mexico at the time. So and then as we continue to get into the premiership, my dad and I just started following Chelsea. I mean, at the time, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but like I loved Joe Cole. Like he was my
It's
favorite
not a bad
player.
thing. It's not a bad thing. I wouldn't hold that one against you. If you said if you said somebody else, I could think of a few are that terrible. Like Joe Cole's all right.
All right, so we just like ended up being Chelsea supporters. My brother, who we make fun of to this day, Man United, and my sister Liverpool.
She's a smart one in the family, then I suppose. Never mind.
She's a troublemaker in the family.
That also explains a lot. Yeah, exactly. So how did you first find your way into Mulligan's in Hoboken?
Oh my God. So when I knew I was gonna do this, I started thinking back and I was talking to my sister the other day. We were saying I was like, when was the first match that we saw? And I believe it was in 2006. So 20 years ago. And
Mm,
we went and then I was like, oh, this place is great. They're showing all the matches. Cause again, in the early 2000s, it's not like you could watch games anywhere. You had to go and figure look at who was showing it.
yeah,
So even though, it was like 25 minutes away, I was like, okay, we'll go to Hoboken. And then we gradually started going more and more. And my sister and I started, sitting at the bar. We were at the time talking to Ash a lot. We love Ash. He was like our
I
favorite
like
bartender.
Ash.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like him. They thought he was miserable, but I liked him.
Ash was the best. He's my favorite. Paul and I used to have a fight all the time. I'm like, he's the best bartender. And then Paulie came over, introduced himself, and started, invited us over to the Chelsea table, and the rest is
That was
history.
it. Oh my God, poor girls. Poor girls. So for many people, right? Like you said, then it was difficult to go and watch games. It wasn't always on everywhere, even though it was. Now it's you wouldn't even think about it now, would you? But the last
Mm-mm,
10 years at least. But like
not at
even I
all.
can remember going in Mulligan's in 2003, 2004, and not every game was on. Or Paulie would do his best to video a game or something and play it back for you in the other room or
Yeah.
on another telly. But what did that mean to you then to have a little Chelsea community? The way that you did, being at the Chelsea table in Mulligan's. I know Paulie being a Chelsea fan makes it a little bit easier, but what did that mean to you?
I mean, it was great. It was so fun, and it was like such a nice sort of break from, you know, sort of taking yourself so seriously. Like I said, being in the fashion industry and sometimes thinking that this is the end all be all. You kind of get stuck in your small little world sometimes. So I
Yeah.
think having that outside perspective and like being able to put your hair down and like watch a match and really follow something that's totally out of your control. I mean, when you love a club, it's either like some of the happiest moments or the saddest moments, and you have no control over that. And it's something, I don't know, it's a great feeling as opposed to like taking yourself so seriously day to day when things don't work out your way. It was just nice. And then to have a laugh with all those boys, it was great.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? What's your favorite moment in Mulligans
Oh my
watching
God, there's
Chelsea?
so many. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so many.
I've got one for you now. You better answer this properly. So you ended up traveling with the lads a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Talk about women and leadership, right?
It's
I
like
I
herding
am.
cats.
It
Herding
is like
cats.
herding cats, and you were the chief cat herder for a couple of occasions. What are some of your favorite memories of those trips? And have you got any tellable stories about any of the characters that went with you?
So no matter where we went at the end of the night, and because we wanted to stay out late, without a doubt, I would always find the best gay bar in that city and take all the boys with me. And the I have so many memories of them dancing on stage and just having the time of their lives. It's
Oh
like,
my God, that's
and
brilliant.
yeah, I mean,
And they never
Barcelona,
tell, yeah,
Madrid.
they will never tell us that. They will never tell us that.
I mean, yeah, Polly and London on stage. Yeah, it's so many memories.
What was your favorite city? What was your favorite trip? Is it Madrid again?
Madrid was great. I mean, when you're Stamford Bridge, it's always like such a great, especially being there with your friends. It's such a great time.
Hmm.
I could tell you one of my not so favorite trips was Barcelona, just because the fans were brutal. I don't know if yeah, Barcelona was probably the
I'm
toughest
trying
one
to
for
think of
me.
what game that would have been. Did you win at
It was
least, or did you
Chitin.
get beat?
No, we got beat. But then after the match, we had one of the best times. I think it was just the the leading up to the match. I lost a cashmere hat.
Oh
Still
no.
upset about that, I know. But then I was with Paigey and Paul, and again, one of those nights where we ended up by like the beach in Barcelona at a gay club, you know, dancing till
This is
4
great.
a.m. I know.
Oh, this is great. I can't wait to go in the pub next week. Tell them all this. It's brilliant. So what's been your favourite match you've attended in person? You said about Stamford Bridge, been to other places. What's the best match you've been to in person?
The Atletico match was a big one. Love that. I mean, I also think, how could I forget this? I Okay, so I didn't attend in person because I didn't have a ticket, but I flew for 36 hours to Munich hoping to get a ticket with nothing else except my purse for the first time we won the Champions League. And I watched it at a beer garden with a bunch of Munich fans. And afterwards, Mike Neat he was the head of the New York Blues, and all of them came out to meet me and didn't even sleep. I had nowhere to stay. Then took a cab to the airport and flew back home. So I was literally there for 36 hours. So, and no one expected us to win. I mean, that was
No,
probably one of the best memories I've had.
that's
But I
cool.
wasn't
That is cool.
physically at the match.
That's all right though, because you were there. You
Yeah,
tried.
I tried.
I mean, I went to Athens in 2007 and tried and never got in, and then missed my flight home and was stuck in the middle of Athens trying to watch it. So that wasn't as glamorous as that, but
It
that is
was
good.
not glamorous at all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm sure it was a good laugh though. I'm sure it was a good
It
laugh.
was.
So you and John moved in together in 2019. Now, is John?
Yes.
I can't know. Is John a Chelsea fan as well?
Yes, he's a Chelsea fan.
Now, would he go on these trips as well? Is that kind of how you two met?
Yeah, he would go on some of them, but he wasn't in all of them that I
Right.
went to. I mean, I would always say John's probably the most sensible of the bunch. Now that I'm married to him, I will say something. I would definitely think differently.
I don't know. There's some reckless people in that crew, so I know that John is probably up there with the sensible ones, which is saying a lot. But
Yeah,
you know, yeah. So you just married the sensible one. That's
I married
smart.
the sensible one.
Yeah. You moved in 2019, and John's Scottish. you're Chilean, you've both moved over to America to build a life, separately. You know, how have your experiences helped each other along the way on your own little journey as well now with each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think for him, it was definitely it's a bit different, right? Because I came here so young. So I kind of
Mm.
had this is like where I had my best friends from high school and so on living here, where he had to come as an adult, where I think, as an adult, it's harder to meet people and get to know people. But I think overall, in terms of like making our own little family here, has is great. I also think like when we talk about growing up somewhere different and our ties to a culture that's not American is something that we have in common.
Yeah. Do you think it makes it easier as well when things like,
Totally,
without getting crazy political, but like when things happen and
totally,
you have a similar understanding of how things work and a similar sort of empathy towards whatever's
100%.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think me and Kel are a little bit like that as well. So what Scottish traditions have sort of found their way into your life now?
Well, I got married in Scotland, so we had some, traditions. We did the whole hand binding thing. But I would say mostly it's just some of the words. Like I'll say we a lot or, call them a dafty or something. Oh my God, I'm gonna get so much trouble.
No, you're not.
Oh my God.
Just
But
iron brew everywhere now as well. You're just drinking iron brew like it's gone out of fashion.
lots of chocolates here and iron brew, yeah.
Perfect. Nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't imagine you. I'd never thought I'd hear you call someone a dafty before. Brilliant. That's amazing. On the other side though, has John got on any of the Chilean sort of traditions, or have you got many traditions, or is there things that he likes that he embraces from your side?
I mean, he spends my family. So now that I'm in upstate, my parents also have a house upstate. So no, even when I was in Morristown, they were half hour from me there, and now they're half hour away from me here. So I'm quite close to my family. So he's exposed to them a lot. But I think for him, one of the things to get used to is he's definitely into the music. Like he has Bad Bunny on vinyl. Uh,
Can he
but
understand it?
Yeah, he understands it, and he
Okay.
puts great playlists together, but I think him getting used to that we're not yelling, this is how we speak, is something that he's had to, come to terms with. At first, he's like, "Why are you guys so angry at each other?" And I'm like, "No, we're not." And now that he understands more, he's so used to it. He's like, "Okay."
Has there been any like funny misunderstandings between either of you? Like, has something been said to you by his family or something's happened in Scotland where you're like, and it's been funny, or has he put his foot in it with your parents or your family at any point, especially early
N-
on?
No, not really. I mean, no, I mean they have loved them from the beginning, but no, not that I can think of. I mean, I think some terminology, like I didn't know, his mom says ta a lot. And I was like, what's ta? Like, I didn't know what that was.
Like, thanks.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I thought that was an easy one.
No.
I thought it was. I thought that was an easy one. Fair enough. So you moved in 2019 in Morristown, and then the pandemic happened, which shifted a lot of things. Like, you can't go to Paris 4 times a year during the pandemic. Like, what did that kind of do to you when it comes to reassessing priorities?
Yeah. So, in terms of like professional or just in
Just in
general,
general, like, because I think, you and I are similar in age, I think.
I think
And
health definitely was one of those,
yeah, well, yeah.
and definitely like, okay, like not only my health, but my parents' health, just making sure that they were okay. And then, Sam, making sure he was okay. Although we got COVID before Sam did, we gave him COVID. So he was mad years later. But that's a whole nother thing. And I think just prioritizing, doing what you want to do now, more of that. So when the pandemic happened, everyone was going stir crazy. We were too, with, a teenager in the house that couldn't go anywhere. Us, being in the house that we ended up getting a Airbnb up here in upstate New York in a town called Tivoli. And the more time we spent in the area, the more we loved it. And that's what made our decisions like, okay, it's so beautiful up here. Why don't we think about getting a weekend house?
Yeah.
And here we are now, full-time upstaters.
It is good. I mean, I am jealous as well when you say it. And when I see the pictures, I'm like, but so then you go back to school again during
So,
COVID and
yeah,
get another little certificate.
I'm one of those people that needs to be doing like a million things, right? So
Hmm.
we had to sort of change the way we were doing things at work. So some time opened up for me and we had to really get our own business going. Like we worked with a lot of external partners at the time. So I was like, all right, I really want to ensure that I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do this digital marketing certificate through Yale. And I did it and I learned a lot and it's been super helpful. Even now, that I am basically I'm an independent contractor as a real estate agent, understanding the importance of your own marketing and your own, online presence has been
Mm.
invaluable.
Is there a lot of transferable skills from what you did to what you're doing now?
Yeah, 100%. I
Because I
mean,
think
it's
about that all the time, mate. Like, obviously, I'm a teacher and I coach footy and do other little bits and bobs, but I always wonder about transferable skills. Like, what else could I do if I really wanted to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been in sort of this sales aspect in my career, whether that be wholesale, retail sales, online sales. So that was something that I was like, okay, I can sell. So this is something I could do. But also the staging and styling part of homes, like getting them ready to sell. And I think
Yeah.
about my merchandising experience, making sure colors work together, but also adding layers to it. Like when you put an outfit together, there's different layers. There's a belt and shoes and, what goes under the button down or the jacket. It's the same thing with a home. It's not just like putting a bed. It's like making a bed with different layers and throw pillows and the lamp next to the bed and so on. So it's been really fun.
It's good that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a cool one. What was I know you mentioned it a little bit before about just getting to the end of it and there wasn't like one thing that made you move on from or like get to a point where you got to a point where you felt like you'd made it. But was the one moment, was it a culmination of maybe COVID, realizing that you could do something different and liking upstate that made you just move out of the fashion industry after, yeah, your
Yeah,
23
I would
years?
I would say that's probably like around 2020 is when it really started getting in my head that I was like, okay, this isn't what I want to be doing when I'm 50.
Mm,
I'm 46 now. And I'm like, this is, I sort of need to make this transition eventually. And I think it was also then like settling down into a family, having a husband and a kid and dogs and wanting to, spend that time with them. Also, like when you're traveling for work, sometimes you're gone 3 weeks. It's a lot, and several times a year that I was just like, okay, I did this for so long and it's fun and it's great, but it's also tiring and it's keeping
mm.
me away.
Did you ever worry that you were giving up identity? Did you ever wonder
No,
about that?
I mean, honestly, I think for me, it was just like, it was definitely kind of like I think my ego got a little bit in the way more than identity. Okay, maybe, yeah, identity. It's like, who am I if I'm not Maka who works in fashion, But it was also like I worked so hard to get to this level and this, title or this salary. And I'm sort of walking away from that now. And what are these people going to think? Did I just give up? And it's just really kind of having those internal conversations and knowing like, okay, stop second guessing yourself. Like, I feel like I'm really good at trusting my gut. And I just sometimes need to take a step back and know, okay, trust your gut. And I did. And I'm so happy I did.
I think there's a lot of people think like that, mate, and a lot of people don't do it. I'd be one of them as well,
Yeah.
I think. Because I think,
Yeah.
especially that whole thing you just said then, I'm just like, "Oh god, this is the same as me." Like, I'm 46 this year, and I'm like, I get to 50, like, do I still wanna be doing what I'm doing? Do I wanna go and do something else? Like, what's gonna happen? And It is just, but you worry, don't you, because you've done so much to get to where you are, and scratched and fought and done everything. And yeah, it's oh God, you're gonna get me thinking about it now as well. What did people at work say when you were like, yeah, I'm done?
No, so I think it was more like I said, it happened more in phases. So like I
Mm,
stopped working. I was also like had the wedding and then I had, we were wrapping up this renovation. So I think those close to me, they knew already I had been feeling this way. And then people in the that I'm close to in the industry, again, I had had these discussions. I mean, don't get me wrong, at first I did have a couple of, conversations with recruiters and I did talk to one or two companies and I had initial interviews and I was like, no, I gotta stand my ground. If I don't do this now, I'm never gonna do it. So it was more of like, I think most people that knew me knew that that was gonna happen. Those that, I wasn't maybe keeping in touch with or speaking to that frequently, it was a surprise, but I think they also, they're happy for me and they get the alignment.
yeah, especially now, see you now, big massive doors, nice thing behind you. I'd be like, oh, I'd be looking to move up here as well. So, all right, in a relatively short period, we talked about this before as well. Whirlwind. In a relatively short period of time, you've got engaged, married, renovated a house, left Jersey, and settled upstate. How have you managed that? Is that why you've got a glass of wine in your hand as you're doing it? How have you managed that? All at once?
Looking back, I have no idea. It was a whirlwind. It was an absolute whirlwind. And, we had, you make plans. Originally, the renovation was supposed to be done in August. The wedding was in November. And then we were gonna, so that list our house in September. Renovation didn't finish till this January. So moving with 2 dogs, like, and our house is like half the size of what the other house was. So getting rid of things, getting the other house ready to list, it was just wild. I have no idea how we did it. A lot of communication. I mean, John and I were like literally driving like between New York, New Jersey. I was in the city too, wrapping up the job. And then for the wedding, I had the most amazing wedding planner. So that was handled. I actually wasn't as stressful as everything else we had going on. So
And
when we,
is John like that as well? Sorry, go on.
no, John is definitely more, he is less of a worrier than me. But I think that's just a dynamic in couples. I feel like most of the wives tend to be really sort of like, okay, what if this happens? And like more of the planners, where the guys are more laid back. But are they laid back because the women are doing all the planning?
I'd argue that I'm worse, and I'm sure Kel would say, if I ask Kel now, she's downstairs. If I asked her now, she'd go, yeah, you're a nightmare. Because I'm always, well, what if this happens? Yeah, but it hasn't happened. Well, what if it does? And
Yeah,
I
that's
panic.
me
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah, full
I
anxiety
panic.
mode. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I have Kel to balance me out. So you've got
yeah.
John to balance. That's perfect. That is perfect. So have you officially become one of these people now that gets excited about gardening and flea markets and farmers markets and stuff like
Okay,
that? Or have you always
farmers
been like that?
farmers markets, yes. Gardening, no, I haven't. Like honestly, like 15 years ago, if you would have told me, I would have like left Jersey City. I loved living in Jersey City. I loved, having access to like restaurants and bars and everything. And then I don't know how this gradually started happening, but yeah, I'm like gardening, although I'm very overwhelmed by all the weeds I have right now. Farmers markets, I love. It's just like a slower pace. It's different. I also like, we're home having a bottle of wine, watching, a film, and that's what we enjoy now, as opposed to like going out at 11. Oh my God, I would die now if
Oh,
I went out at 11. But yeah, I think it's just like been gradually happening.
what surprised you most about living upstate now?
I think how much it's a lot, like it's a very slow pace, right? You have to, even when it comes to like getting things done around the house, like tradesmen or, plowing, people work on their own schedule here. There's no like, oh, I'll see you Tuesday at 10. It's like when they show up, and you have to be okay with that. And sort of like letting go a little bit and me being okay with that. That's not normally, that's not me 2 years ago. It's like, "What do you
What's
mean? You you need to tell me what time you'll be here."
what's the biggest piece of like gardening equipment or something like that that you've bought since you've been up there? Do you have a Home Depot card now and stuff like that?
John would make fun of me right now because all my gardening equipment is quite wee. I like really cute Japanese garden equipment. So he's like, "You have 7 acres. What are you gonna do with this really cool Japanese tool? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, you just like that with a fork. It's
But
like,
it's beautiful looking.
oh, no doubt. I'm sure it'd look good on the fireplace. Like, just don't be using it in the back garden. That's funny. So with all this stuff now, then with like Chilean heritage, your family at home, the career that you built in fashion, and the people that you met through the fashion industry, your relationship with John and his family, and everything that you've got through football. Like, talk about it within context of you, but in the sense of anybody really who's moving to a new place. Like, how important are these little communities in helping people and helping you personally, but also helping people in general to sort of, feel at home or feel a part of something?
Yeah, I mean, huge. I think also like being exposed to people with different perspectives, like mulligans. There's so many different people there from mostly European, I would say, but who support different teams, and having that exposure, I think, is huge. And I think just getting to know people, like we were saying, when you're an adult, you don't really meet friends outside of work. Like a lot of people, their work friends are who become their friends. And
Mm.
I think having that chance to get to meet people because you like something, you share something in common, is such, a big deal.
Yeah, no, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? So
Hmm.
many people get affected by that place, and
It's
it brings so
wild.
many. It is.
I
It's
know.
crazy how many
And it's
people.
like different kind of groups or cohorts. I think John always says he was like 2 cohorts before I came. Like,
Yeah,
he had his group and then so on. And there's some that like have stayed there the whole time. So I don't know. It's
Graham.
interesting. Graham.
Graham spans about 5 cohorts now, I think.
Yeah, he does.
Him and Steve have been there since, yeah, day one, I think.
Broomhead. I know. They're the best.
I know, I know. All right, so what do you think your parents are most proud of now when they look at what you've built personally?
I think they'd probably be most proud about like how independent I am in terms of like I've never sort of, looked to others to do what I wanted to do. Like I've
Mm,
always, if I wanted to go somewhere, I would go. If I wanted to do this job, I would do it. I mean, even like real estate, they're like, "You're gonna do real estate?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." Like I've always been very determined. When I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. So I think that's something that they're definitely proud of.
yeah, and what are you and on the other side of that, like, what are you most grateful for from them?
Everything. I mean, the opportunity, like my parents are the best. My dad is the hardest working man I've ever met. And he just like that sort of, hard work, and like to see him come from like he started with like nothing here to, being who he is today and having provided for his family his whole life, and being able to have his 2 homes and this beautiful life that they've built is amazing to watch.
Cool, yeah, as well. And are you still talking to your sister even though she's a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, my sister's my best friend. We
That's good,
we
that's
talk
good.
about 8 times a day. John's like, "Oh."
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, John's he's got no chances, John. Poor John. He's just gonna have to do as
I
he's told now
know.
forever.
I know. They get on quite well too, though. I mean,
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's all
yeah,
right.
they're texting even like on their own. Like I'm not involved.
That's funny.
Usually
That's
making fun
funny.
of me.
That's unfortunate. But I'm sure it's yeah, it comes from a good place. If you could sit down with young Macca now after graduating from Seton Hall in '03, yeah, what advice would you give her?
I would probably say not to worry so much. Like live in the moment, like what we were talking about earlier. Like learn to enjoy the now.
It's
It's
good. I
probably
mean,
advice I'd give myself right now still, but
I know
it's
it's
gotten
so
better.
funny. Yeah, it has gotten better. All right. And then if you could describe this conversation in one sentence, How would you do it?
I would say it's been so much fun and definitely a lot less stressful than I thought it would be. Look, I didn't even finish the glass of wine.
That's ridiculous. You're going to have to neck it now, though, after the next questions. Maka, thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate the
No,
time.
thank you. This is
And
great.
I'm glad things are working out for you up there as well. I look every day. I look at these houses and I'm like, fuck's sake, I can't afford that.
Well,
And
when you're ready, give me a call.
I wish. Well, hey, listen, I will. Don't tempt me because me and Kel will be there. But one of these days,
We got to get you guys up here. Yeah.
No, that would be cool. But even if we come up, you know, you and Kel can go to the farmer's market. I'll sit down with John and watch the football. All right. If you wouldn't mind, I've got a couple of quick fire questions for you as well.
Yeah.
Just to finish off. All right. First question. One thing you miss from Chile.
Empanadas.
Are they that different down there?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's fair. That's fair. I don't even know why I'm asking you this. Which country wins at food? Chile or Scotland? You've never had square sausage in a roll?
No, the toddy scones. Like, that's John's favorite.
They are good as well. Tatty scones are decent. All right. Obvious, a serious question. What's your favourite dinosaur?
T-Rex.
I think you panicked then as well. That's why you said it. All right. One place you would love to watch Chelsea that you haven't been to yet?
I haven't been to yet. Maybe like a Scandi country, like Denmark or something.
Oh yeah, Copenhagen maybe. That'd be a good one. That's not a bad one. On that theme, who's the most reckless member of that Chelsea little squad from Mulligans?
Steve Broomhead.
Really? I thought you were going to go Dawson all day then as well.
No.
All right. What are you singing on the karaoke?
What am I singing? Probably Love Will Tear Us Apart.
That's not a bad one.
I can't sing for shit though.
None of us can. That's the point.
Completely no. So tone deaf.
What's your favourite thing about Scotland?
Edinburgh. Actually, I don't know. I would say Sky. I mean, I should probably say my husband, but I feel like he's here now.
Let's take him out of the equation. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. I love Scotland. Like, honestly, we're even thinking about going and spending a month there. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And fun.
That's good. That's a cool answer. All right. Favourite Chelsea player? Is it still Joe Cole?
Forever, ever? I'd probably have to say Lamps.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
And last question. In your opinion, what is the biggest fashion faux pas?
Men wearing thong sandals.
Really? Shit, I've got... even with shorts?
Yes. Men should cover their toes at all times.
Bollocks. I'm going to have to throw everything out. Damn it. Maka, thank you so much, mate. That was class. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. This is so fun.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you or someone you know has a story to share, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us via our socials or visit www.crossingthepondpodcast.com to get in touch. Please be sure to subscribe, like, or leave a comment if you can. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Across Pond Podcasting.